Okay, so we're here with new author Latarsha Woods, and she's had a passion for writing songs and poems since she was very young. And she wrote her first book when she was only in the fifth grade. Amazing. What happened with that book?
Oh, it didn't really make it.
Didn't make it.
But
Okay.
I wasn't entered into a contest, but they, basically told me I need to work on it some more. But it was just, it was just the motivation to keep on going and not stop. Something that I love to do.
Great, great, great. So that persistence pays because now you have published your first published book, which is called My Melanin is Poppin' on My Beautiful Brown Skin.
Yes.
And it's been very successful, hasn't it? Just in the short time it's been out.
I know that the very next day that I released it, it actually went number one as a number one new release in 3 categories on Amazon. So we were like floored when that happened.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really good. So you're originally from this area, right?
I'm from Petersburg, Virginia. I moved here after I got married back in 2004 to my awesome husband, Travis Woods. And I've been here ever since.
Well, great. We're glad you're here. And you attended school in this area too, right?
Yes, I went to Virginia State University, and I was a majorette, a dancer. I was in the gospel chorale, and my husband, he actually attended Virginia State University as well, but I didn't meet him until after 3 years of being on campus. So kind of,
Ah,
yeah.
okay, great. So we're always happy that people are happily together. So tell us about your My Melanin is Popping on My Beautiful Brown Skin. Do you happen to have a copy there with you?
Actually, I'm sold out all of my copies, but I have my proof here.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
And this is,
Okay. So people
um,
can see what it looks like.
yeah.
Excellent. So tell us about how did this story come about? What motivated you to write the story?
Well, last year during the pandemic, when all of the racial injustices and things that started breaking out across our nation after the George Floyd tragedy, um, we felt led to share with our daughters and expose them to a little of what was going on um, as far as history was concerned and the things that were being exposed. And they had questions, questions about the color of their skin. And one of the questions my oldest daughter asked was why, people would kill us because of the color of our skin. And, even though, we taught them about slavery and different things, they're not thinking like this is happening so, drastically in this day and time, even though we knew of things that's happened in the past, but just for it to be really exposed to the point of look, racism still exists. We need to do something about this. Um, Pushing a
How
nation
old are, how
to
old are
the
your daughters?
12 years old, 4 years old, and 7 years old. And it was my 7 year old daughter that asked questions like, well, why, all of our skin are different colors of brown, and so how come, she's darker brown than me and I'm lighter brown and we all different shades of brown, and how did that happen? And so it just opened up a lot of dialogue for us to talk about race. And I wasn't even, my focus wasn't even to talk about colorism. It just kind of like happened when I prayed and I said, God, give me something to encourage my girls not to look at, this, something to shine light on the situation so that they can celebrate who they are, and not feel like, wow, the world is against me. Why are people against the color of my skin? And so I prayed about it, and I believe like the next day or so, God just something just fell in my spirit. My melanin is popping on my beautiful brown skin, you know? And I just started saying it to them, and they start catching on to that. And then the words just start coming to me in a poem. And I just started sharing it with them. Like, you know, mahogany brown, your beautiful mahogany brown skin, caramel brown, golden brown skin, your melanin is popping on your beautiful brown skin. And just encouraging them to love their skin, to celebrate each other's different colors of skin, you know, because and then God began to show me that there's so many other kids out here that have these questions, and you know, or going through different situations concerning their complexions, and they need the same encouragement as well. And so that's when I begin the process of writing a book. So
wonderful, wonderful. So the book is for children. What ages is it for?
It's for children, but the amazing thing about it is that I've been having adults telling me how this book has encouraged them. So, you know, I guess the child in us that connects with that book too, because I know me, myself, when I was in middle school, I dealt with being bullied because I was light skinned, you know, and it was a darker skinned girl that would bully me, you know, so I don't think colorism is just, you know, something where a light-skinned person is show favoritism, or I believe it's just within our community too, you know, celebrating each other rather than looking down on one another, you know, looking at each other as a gift from God, from the inside out, you know, knowing that our melanin is supernatural. Like God gave this to us for so many different reasons, you know, and so yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, yeah, colorism has been around for a long time. Did you want to talk about the roots of that, or anything of that nature?
Well, yeah, I mean, we know that colorism dates back to slavery, you know, when the slave masters were raping our ancestors that they brought here, forced here from Africa. And when the children that were birthed from those rapes, you know, would be lighter skin color, you know, they would show favoritism because the slave owner knew that it was their child, you know, but they didn't recognize them as their child, but they showed favoritism and would put that child inside their house as a maid or something kind of like that, you know. And then the darker skinned slaves would be left in the field to work, you know. And so it dates back then, and then it caused, you know, favoritism amongst, you know, the sisters and the brothers and the siblings and the family members of those slaves, you know. And the crazy thing about it is that was where it started, and now, you know, it's something that it still exists, but people don't really talk about it, but it's in their actions, it's in what they're saying and what they're doing. And it's not just, you know, in our community, in the African American community, but it's in different cultures as well that has different shades of brown. India, you can go from India, you can go to, you know, and just different cultures that deal with the same type of favoritism, you know, when it comes to the color of your skin, you know. And so the whole, when I look back on, okay, wow, you know, God, you gave me something to encourage my girls, encourage other young boys and girls. And this thing is basically to combat that spirit of colorism. You know, I don't actually say the word colorism in the book because I want it to be a book that shines light and not, you know, really bring dark, you know, in a place of light, you know. And so when the kids are reading the book, I want them to celebrate each other, you know, color, different shades of brown. So, you know, it's just, you know, that it's just time to stop sweeping things under the rug and really discuss and talk about these things, because it still exists, you know, not just in our community, but outside in the entertainment world, and, you know, and just different places.
Well, yes, I really commend you for taking a positive look at it, because, as you said, this has been around a long time, and a lot of people have suffered. A lot of teasing, a lot of bullying, as you noted, and it's time for this to stop.
Yeah.
It's something that starts, I believe, in childhood with the little ones. So I think that's another reason why your book is so significant and so important. Um, so tell us a little bit about, well, you told us about how you were inspired to write your book. Do you plan on writing any more books?
Well, actually, yes. Actually, before I started writing the children's book, I was writing a book about a little bit about my story, my testimony. And God just shifted things, and my attention just solely became this book, last year. And so I worked on this book for almost a year. And within me writing this book and finishing this book, I realized that this story and this dialogue needs to be talked about more. And then God gave me another book that I'm actually working on now. I don't know when it's going to be released, probably another year or so. But it's called My Brown is My Crown. But I gave a little bit away for those who are joining it, but I give it away a little bit in the book. When you get to the end of My Melanin is Popping on My Beautiful Brown Skin, I share the title of my next book towards the end, but I don't say that that's the title, but now I'm saying it. But yeah, so I'm working on that, to continue to celebrate our brown skin, and to celebrate just who we are from the inside out, because we're beautiful on the outside, but we're just as beautiful on the inside as well. So, yeah.
That's tremendous. So, Latarsha, what do you do when you're not writing?
Wow, I'm a mother. I am a mom. I am a wife. I have a business actually that I started during the pandemic. Me and my husband have a nonprofit called Youth Impact. And under that umbrella of Youth Impact, I do a mentorship modeling program that's called Anoint the Runway. And me and my husband have been doing that since 2011. And so we kind of took a break during the pandemic, but we went on tour actually in 2019, where we took a lot of youth with us, and we, they modeled and just building up their, and basically it's about building up their confidence from the inside out, teaching them how to be top models for Christ in the world, and just, make a difference in whatever they're called to do. And so I also had the opportunity to actually take that program inside Richmond Public Schools. And so I was doing a mentorship after school program where I was teaching young girls and boys, modeling, but using that as a tool to teach them how to be top models, and to do great things in this world and to dream again. Because a lot of kids, when they see their surroundings, and a lot of kids that come from the inner cities, they think that they can't make it past that. And I just felt that God put me there to remind them that no, you have purpose. As long as you're breathing, you have purpose, and you can make it out of any situation. Don't allow that situation to determine, what your future is going to hold, and just teaching them how to dream big and hold on to their dreams and not let go of them. And so, yeah.
That is so important.
Yeah.
Well, at this time, I'd like to open it up to some questions. Perhaps some members of our audience have a question um, about colorism, about your book, My Melanin is Popping on My Beautiful Brown Skin, or some of your other activities. I'm fascinated to hear about the top modeling for Christ. So if you have a question, you can unmute yourself, or you can write it in the chat. Yeah, you can write it in the chat.
Hello, Latarsha. How are you?
Hi.
I have a question. In your opinion, what age do you think children begin to recognize about their color and the difference, as well as how they're treated? At what age do you think that begins? I mean, your book, of course, can be read and taught, even to babies. But I mean, at what age do you think children begin to experience and recognize the differences and recognize being treated different because of it?
Wow, great question. Well, I can just take from my own experience that I didn't really start recognizing and realizing there was a difference until I got to sixth grade when I was treated differently. The kids that I played with before sixth grade, it wasn't about, you being light skinned or you being dark skinned. And I think it's just as different for just everybody. Every child's story is different, but for me, it started with me in sixth grade when I got to middle school. And, I was going to Petersburg High School, and in Petersburg, we only had one middle school. So it doesn't matter what part of town you live in, we all came together to the same school. And so you had kids there from different walks of life. And so, I don't know why, but on my first day of school, this beautiful dark-skinned girl just began to bully me, for no reason. And you said, tell me you think you're better than me, and just crazy. And just because of the color of my skin. And I didn't realize, wow, why people think like that, because I didn't, I wasn't in that type of environment, and it affected me a whole lot. Like that sixth grade year was like one of my worst years in my school history, because I was literally fighting, and I wasn't like a person that liked to hurt people, but I had to learn how to fight to defend myself. And, it was just a hard year. And so, but God turned everything around that following year. My life, things got better, and, but yeah, that first year, it just opened my eyes to just how people really see you in a different way. And it opened my eyes to see life in this world in a different way. So I think for every child, they have a story like that that's brown skin, whether they're light skin, they're dark skin. And I'll just say this, at my book signing, there was an interracial couple that came to purchase a book for their granddaughters, because and the grandfather is Caucasian and the grandmother was from Kenya, Africa. And basically he told them the story of his granddaughter going to school and two Caucasian girls bullying her and telling her, well, your skin complexion, you don't have pure white skin like ours. And so you're mixed with blacks. And so your skin is not as pure. And he said he couldn't believe that those type of sentiments still exist in the world today. And he was so angry and ready to go up to the school and raise Cain. But his daughter stepped in and said, no, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to go up to the school. And she sat down with all of the young girls that were bullying her daughter, bought them all lunch. And she sat down with them and they talked about what happened and talked about, complexion. And he shared a little bit about that. And he said by the end of that lunch, the little girls were playing with his granddaughter and treating her differently. And she took an approach of love. And I believe if we take more approaches of love rather than, hate, I believe that we can educate more youth, whether they're our complexion or not, about the importance of what's going on. Because I believe we have a generation of other races that has not been educated enough about what African Americans' history is. And then it causes those things to happen because of the parents are not educating their families about, racism and colorism and just different things, because they don't want to bring those situations up. But then you have situations like this that happen, and it just is really sad. So I believe it's opening up dialogue even for, just all families to talk about it. And like I said, he came to purchase a book for his granddaughter to encourage her. And that was just a touching moment and an awesome testimony of the importance of why God had me write this book. I hope that answers your question a little.
Yes, it does. You, for you is sixth grade. I just wonder, because I know you said that your daughters, you know, they had questions. And so what are their ages?
Trinity is 7. And so, you know, and okay, that's true, because Trinity is 7 years old, and she was the one that asked me, why are we different complexions? And I believe families have those questions too, because in the Black community, we have all different shades of brown, you know, and so we want to make sure that our kids are celebrating each other brown skin and knowing how amazing and beautiful it is when you have that beautiful chocolate brown mahogany skin to that golden brown skin, you know, because to be quite honest, it doesn't matter if you're mahogany or you're golden or you're caramel. It just, you know, when it's a negative, when it's looked at negatively, you know, it's not celebrated. You know, it's looked at, oh, she thinks she's better, or, you know, this and that, or she, you know, she's not that cute because she's this complexion, or whatever thoughts and things that people say that is things of hate. You know, this is to combat that hate so that we can celebrate our children and have them celebrate each other, planting that seed in them early so that they can start celebrating, even the young boys, to read this book and celebrate their beautiful brown queens, you know, that they will be marrying later on in life, you know, just to celebrate each other and know that, wow, that's beautiful. Like, your skin is so beautiful. Like, God gave you that beautiful brown skin. And just to have kids walking around saying, girl, you have that beautiful mahogany skin. Girl, you have that beautiful golden skin, you know? And so just to make things, you know, seem better for them, not just seem, but be better, to know that you are great. You know, you are royalty. You were created for a purpose. You know, God gave you that beautiful brown skin for a purpose, you know. And you know, a lot of people don't know that melanin is a supernatural sunscreen. Come on now. You know, why would God give us that? You know, because he wants to protect our beautiful skin, you know, our beautiful complexions, you know. And so, I mean, you should still wear sunscreen, but just to know that God did that for us, you know, that is just a blessing in itself.
Yeah, I remember a family in New Jersey, where I'm originally from. They had 2 granddaughters. One was light and one was dark. And they used to take the light one shopping and leave the dark one at home. And I just thought that was so horrendous. And it was only because of the color of their skin. And it was just a shame for the adults to take such an ignorant stance. And you know, by what they were doing, they were teaching this to their grandchildren. So I think that everyone should read your book, not just children.
Yeah. I mean, and that's wonderful. I mean, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to a lot of seasoned men and women on a phone call, and just to hear their, just like stories like you just shared with me, were amazing. You know, they were touched by the book, you know, and they were ready to get it for their kids, their grandkids, you know, and they were thanking me for writing a book like this, because they were sharing how much our community needs this. And so, yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Wow.
Okay, well, I'm sure there might be another question. If so, just unmute yourself and ask away.
Hello, Latarsha. How are you?
I know you.
I have a question. So how are the children responding to the book, and being recognized, and doing these different interviews and signing the book? How are they responding?
Wow, they are loving it, you know, especially Destiny loves signing the books, and Trinity, and I just love hearing Serenity say, sign my name, my 4-year-old. She said, don't forget to sign my name. But they are loving it, you know. They just, you know, like my oldest daughter, when she did the interview on Channel 12 News, it just really blessed my heart to see her open up so much and share you know, how she really felt during that time. And so, you know, I know she shared it with me, but I was concerned. I said, I don't know how, because she's really, she's an introvert. So I didn't know if she was going to really speak and say anything. And for her to be so vocal and articulate about that time and what happened to her and how she felt, that really touched my heart so dear. I'm like, wow, you know, she's peeling back little onions and coming out her shell and sharing. And then my middle child, she's just already, you know, she's ready whenever you ask her a question, you know. But yeah, and Serenity, she just walks around saying my melanin is popping on my beautiful brown skin. So they, it's just been a blessing just to see that they really had embraced it before I even shared it with the world. And so now that we've shared it with the world, it's just like, wow, you know, a whole nother level. And just to remind them the importance of celebrating each other. Awesome question, Mr. Woods.
Thank you very much.
So I have a question about your publishing. How did you go about finding a publisher, or did you publish it yourself?
Well, I asked around, and because I knew of a couple of people that published books. And I just wanted to make sure I go in the right direction. I didn't want it to be, you know, a long gated process, you know. And then, you know, I just basically asked certain people that I knew were successful in publishing their books. And I asked my uncle first, and, you know, he's, you know, he gave me some information. He's a multimillionaire. So I was like, okay, share with me, what should I do? You know, should I publish it through Amazon, or should I do it through a publishing company that I was conversing with at the time? He said, no, definitely do self-publishing, you know. And he just shared with me that he had a better experience self-publishing it through Amazon than he did on his first book when he did it through him on his own. And then I asked my best friend, who actually had published a book, and she actually was like that person that helped me birth this book into existence, because she actually helped me with the formatting and everything when it came to uploading it to Amazon. And she did so well with her book on Amazon. And so I just believe if you feel led to write a book, any kind of book, you definitely need to get a team of people. You definitely need to ask questions of people that you know have already done it, and get a team of people. I mean, my team of people were just maybe 3 people. You know, I had someone to help me format it. I had a friend of mine who was an English teacher that helped proofread it for me. And then my illustrator, you know, I didn't, you know, get to mention her, but she was amazing. You know, a young girl. This was her second time doing a book, but she said of this magnitude, she hadn't done anything like this before. So this book was really special to her. And so, yeah, just make sure you have a team of people and ask questions of people that you know has already done this. And then there are websites that help you, you know, get started. If you can't find an illustrator, if you can't, if you having trouble finding someone to do certain things that you can't do, there are websites out there now that help you basically get started, you know, on your book. So I would say, you know, Amazon is the way to go, you know, especially, you know, so you don't have to do a whole lot of, you know, costs ahead of time. You know, you can build up that capital and then do other things, you know, and purchase your books on your own. So I would say Amazon is the best way to go if you're trying to publish a book. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I've been writing the same book for over 10 years, but
that's all right. Whenever I look, that I told you about the book that I was writing beforehand. I have been writing it for about the same time as you. So I thought this would be the book that I released before this children's book. And, you know, God had it different. You know, it took me a year to get everything finalized and finally publish it. And it's really just that, you know, I don't want to say it's easy, because it's not easy, but it's simple. You know, if you educate yourself about it, it's really a simple process. And, you know, yeah, a lot of people just don't know how simple it is and easy it is to go through, just go through Amazon and not wait on a publishing company to pick up your book, but do it yourself, self-publish it. Yes. Get that book out there.
Thank you. Thank you for your encouragement. Yes. So where can we find copies of My Melanin is Poppin' on My Beautiful Brown Skin?
Yes, right now it's available on Amazon.com. You just Google My Melanin, put it in the search, My Melanin is Popping on My Beautiful Brown Skin, and it'll pop right on up. And also you can follow me on Grace, Faith, Joy. I'm actually on IG, on Instagram. Let me make sure, because I have my email and my IG are the same, but sometimes it's Grace, Faith, Joy, Children's Books on Instagram. You can follow me on Grace, Faith, Joy, Children's Books on Instagram, and just to be updated about anything that I'm doing. If I'm coming to a city near you, I don't know who's going to watch this after we finish this live, but we're planning on doing a book tour where I'm going to go to different cities and share about My Melanin is Popping on My Beautiful Brown Skin. So you can either follow me on IG. I'm on Facebook under my name, Latarsha Woods, and the book is available on Amazon. And I'm actually going to be doing some pop-up, probably some little pop-up book signings here and there here in the Richmond area. So that's a way to kind of stay,
Great. We'll look for you. Yeah. And Travis, would you mind putting her contact information in the chat for people to copy down? Thank you. This is so exciting. So you're going on a book tour. Wow.
Yeah,
amazing.
We're doing our own book tour. So we're connecting with different bookstores around, in different places. And and so one of the places that we right now is working on is doing a book signing in Atlanta, and then hopefully Maryland, and then California. So those are the 3 places that we're working on right now.
Well, let us know when you get your schedule, or is it on your website? Do you have a website?
Well, I just post everything to my IG page, and yeah, I just use that as my, because I have so many websites. I have a website for my music, because I'm a recording artist as well, and then so I have a website for that, and then my boutique. I have a online boutique I started during the pandemic, and so I said I have so many websites. I'm just going to let people connect with me through IG, and just build that capital there.
Okay, and so give us the IG handle again.
Okay, it is Grace, Faith, Joy, Children's Books. Grace, Faith, Joy, Children's Books. I'll type it in the chat too. Let me see. Okay, no.
Is that correct?
No, it's actually children's books.
Oh, okay. Without the S.
Without the S. Books have an S on the end though.
Oh, okay. Let me try it again.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Very good. Well, we certainly enjoyed having you here. And again, if anyone has a question, speak now. Or you can put it in the chat. And we're so glad to have you here as a bright and positive note to, as an outcome of sort of what has happened last year during the pandemic, to see something positive come out of the pandemic concerns. And the library is, I'm looking forward to getting a copy of your book in the library so that people can come and borrow it while they're waiting for their Amazon copy to come in the mail. Yes. So we're going to look forward to great things from you. in your next book. And so please let us know. We'll welcome you back to talk about it when it comes out. And we're so glad you're here, and so glad that you're standing up for positive things for our children.
I'm so glad to be here. This was just a great opportunity. So I really appreciate you all giving me that opportunity to share. And I hope and pray that this book really bless and encourage millions of kids around the world. You know?
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Travis has put your contact information in the chat for IG, also Facebook. And we wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Esmeralda, I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate you expediting this and making sure that we do this in a seamless process, in a seamless way. So I really appreciate you taking the time out to do that. Let me turn my camera on. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do that. It's really been a blessing. And I want to say thank you to the city of Richmond. The HR department did an excellent job putting her information up on that monitor on the 9th floor. And, you know, I just appreciate everybody supporting the city's employees and the different projects and things that's going on throughout the city. So just want to say thank you so much.
We're glad to be here and glad to support. All right, well, we'll see you next time. We'll watch for your tour.
Yay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone who came.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.